Week 13 in the Always Sunny in Sayreville League, and the playoffs are finally here for half the league. Injuries this week. AJ Green tried to give it a go, and it did not go. He exited the game almost immediately, scoring 0 points for the Golden Showers, who really could have used his help, and he is going on IR. He is done for the season. Matt Breida, actually going to miss a game this week. He has 62 injuries. Normally he plays with 61 injuries and scores 20 points a game, but this week, 62 injuries, gonna need a little bit of a break. James Conner, also gonna need a week off, and Greg Olson might need a little bit longer than that. He could be potentially done for his career, honestly. He went on IR again with the foot, and James Conner is gonna be out for week 14, but both of those guys are actually spectators in the wild card round, so we'll worry about them next week. Another guy who's going to be a spectator in the wild card round and beyond is Kareem Hunt. He gone. So that's it, guys. The 2018 regular season is over. Congratulations to the teams that made it to the playoffs, and condolences to those who fell short. There was a lot of drama and a bit of a surprise ending at the back of the playoff bracket. But before we get into that, let's see how things played out at the top of the bracket. With a 154.04 to 116.4 point win versus the Bootleg Crab Leg, Toddler Fight Club locked up the Porter Division title, the number 1 overall seed, a first round bye, and the regular season points title. That is what I call taking care of business. Rutherford B. Hazy won up to their first ever playoff appearance with the division title, a number 2 seed, and a first round bye, courtesy of a 131.94 to 100.68 point win over the Rusty Strombone. It bears noting that the Rusty Strombone gets an honorable mention as this week's GOAT, because if they had won their matchup, they would have leapfrogged into the playoffs. Instead, they'll be watching from the couch. Due to the Toddler Fight Club win, the Drunken Bums record locked them into the number 3 seed. There's more to this story, but we'll get to that in a minute. And Sweep the Leg took care of business versus Beer Muscles 143.72 to 111.14, but did not get the help he needed to steal the division title, and instead locked up the number 4 seed. Okay, so that pretty much covers the first 4 seeds in the playoffs. All pretty straightforward. The real excitement was what happened in the race for the 5 and 6 seed. Now, last week we discussed 3 6 and 6 teams and 1 5 and 7 team that all had legit shots to make the dance. At 5 and 7, Rusty fell out of the running with a loss, leaving low point man Gotham Rogues vulnerable in the standings. Unfortunately for Narkowitz, he also had the toughest matchup of the week, going against the Drunken Bums. Philip Lindsay, however, does not care about your tough matchups. After going undrafted in both the NFL draft and our draft, all he's done is become a cornerstone of the Gotham Rogues run game and led Narkowitz to a huge win in the final week of the season to remove all doubt about a playoff spot. With the win, the Gotham Rogues finished with a 7 and 6 record and jumped from low man to the number 5 seed. And for that, the Gotham Rogues are this week's hero. The final playoff spot was sort of a sad victory. Both Team Blumpkin and the Golden Showers came into the week tied and in win and in situations. Based on points, both would have beaten out the Gotham Rogues for one of the playoff spots. The only way both would miss the playoffs would be if they both lost in embarrassing fashion and put up pitiful scores in the process. And that's exactly what happened. Neither team scored over 100 points. In fact, it was the worst performance of the year by far by either team. The literal only saving grace for Team Blumpkin is the fact that he had more points in the bank from weeks 1 through 12, so he backed into the 6th seed at 6 and 7. The Golden Showers, however, just lost. That's it. Season over. He came into the week with his destiny in his hands, and he goes home for the winter with nothing. And for that, the Golden Showers are this week's GOAT. Okay, so it's week 13, and of course that means it's time for another edition of Odd Sundays. So let's go somewhere out west and meet up with our Uncle Traveling Colin for a point of view that's just a tad askew.
Happy December, Sunny Billions, the home stretch. This is Rutherford B. Hazy coming to you live from the Mile High City, and I can almost taste that sweet, sweet air up there. Lamar Jackson has dropped the ball 5 times in just over 50 carries, and he's still a more popular quarterback than Joe Flacco. Delaware's own First State. It's my guess everyone in Cincinnati will spend their Sundays getting their Christmas shopping done from now on. Or Hanukkah shopping. Whatever. Happy Festivus. The Washington football team signed Reuben Foster just in case, signing Adrian Peterson, their name, their record, and their owner wasn't offensive enough. Also on their 3rd string quarterback in Colin Kaepernick can still not get a job. So, that one I can't tell whether or not it's the franchise or the player. And finally, I don't know if some of you know, I've been on a road trip of late, and when I stopped in Kansas City, there was no sign of Kareem Hunt. The concierge at the La Quinta was quoted as saying, "He's probably lying low right now." So I am sorry that I cannot dig up that story for you. See you next time. Bye.
Alright, thanks, Colin. Good luck out there. We'll see you in 2 weeks. Alright, guys, key matchups. Now, as is the custom, we have a very special guest in to break down the wild card round of the 2018 Always Sunny in Sayreville playoffs. So let's go now to an undisclosed secure location for a top secret breakdown of the playoff key matchups.
What's up, guys? Yeah, here I am, live and in the flesh. No moniker, no sound effects, because I did not earn that this year. I can't start inactive players repeatedly, miss the playoffs with absolutely no hope, really, and then expect to come with sound effects and yeah, all that jazz. So, without further ado, from your only 2-time champ, the MOTH, I'm going to do the breakdown because I did not fucking make the playoffs this year because I'm an asshole, and so is Dalvin Cook. So, on that note, first up, I'm going to do the Rogues Sweep the Leg matchup. I have some notes from Dave here. They're 3-3 all time when they face each other, so this will be the tiebreaker. There's one playoff victory for Sweep the Leg in this rivalry. So, without further ado, between the two of them, let's start at quarterback. It's Andrew Luck for Sweep the Leg versus Phillip Rivers. I'd say that's about a wash. Maybe a super slight edge to Andrew Luck, but I'm going to say no. I'm going to say it's a wash. Next up, running back. Lindsey and Mixon for the Rogues. The both of them could probably outscore the other 3, depending on, who the fuck knows with I hate you, Dalvin Cook. Gus Edwards, who knows, man? He could go off. He might lay an egg. You do have Zeke. Zeke could go off, but he's facing Philly. Division rivalry matchup at home. I would say I'm going to give a slight advantage, actually, to the Gotham Rogues because I hate Dalvin Cook. Next up, wide receivers. On one end, you have OBJ, Cooper, Fitz, and Godwin for the Rogues. And then for Sweep the Leg, Keenan Allen, Stephon Diggs, and Michael Thomas. I wouldn't be surprised to see Allen, Diggs, and Thomas outscore the 4 wide receivers for the Rogues. So I'm going to go with the advantage Sweep the Leg on that one. And then last up is tight end, which actually was a little bit surprising to me. They're closer than I thought. Obviously, Ertz is having a great year. But Kittle, I mean, he's only, I think, points per game, he's only 2 spots below Ertz. So I'm going to give a slight advantage to Ertz on that one. And I'm going to say Sweep the Leg takes the victory. I don't see, unless, I don't see it. I don't see a way that Gotham Rogues can do it unless they get some fluky vintage Fitzgerald and OBJ goes crazy and then Dalvin Cook shits the bed. Maybe Zeke gets stuffed, but I don't see it. I see Sweep the Leg taking this one riding his, 6-game winning streak at this point. To carry that through the finals, that's a 9-game winning streak. Super impressive. Law of averages might say that his hot streak would come to an end here pretty soon. But nonetheless, I'm going to go with the Commish. I'm not going to do any breakdown of defense and kicker for either matchup just because it's pointless. It's always a shot in the dark and who the hell knows, but whatever. I'm not going to do it. Next up, Blumpkin versus Bums. So this is the Bums' first playoff appearance, and Team Blumpkin, who is a 6th seed this year, has won the title from the 6th seed. He did that in 2016. So, the breakdown between these two teams. At quarterback, you have Aaron Rodgers versus the Rook. I don't think anybody would have expected him to be as good as he is, but he's the monster. He actually scores an average of 10 points more per game than Rodgers, which is fucking crazy. So yeah, that's awesome. Obviously, that's advantage Bums. At the running back position, you got Jordan Howard and Kerryon Johnson for the Bums. That's not great. On the other end, Blumpkin also not great with Marlon Mack and Kenyon Drake and James White. Who the fuck knows what's going on with James White because of Sony Michel coming back. And it's the end of the season. There's talk about the Pats kind of using him as a playoff tool and not being utilized much down the stretch here. But fucking Patriots, man. Who the hell knows? So I'm going to give a slight edge to Marlon Mack, Kenyon Drake, and James White. Slight edge. Who knows? More because Jordan Howard is yucky. Wide receivers. Got Galladay, Hill, and Julio for Team Blumpkin. It's a nasty combo. Tyreek Hill and Julio Jones with no TDs. Fuck him like in another season or another league of mine. If he had the TDs that he's had in the past, it would make a huge difference. He would probably be fighting Hill for the number 1 wide receiver spot. Again, law of averages would say he's probably due in a matchup at Green Bay. Yeah, I would say he's poised to go fucking crazy because I don't think he did well last week. So on the other side, for the Bums, it's Hopkins, Ridley, Dede Westbrook, and Adam Thielen. Obviously, Thielen's had a great year. Hopkins has had a great year. The other two, Westbrook maybe surprisingly mediocre at best. Ridley, I guess that's kind of exciting. But again, I think there's the potential for Blumpkin's 3 wide receivers to outscore the Bums' 4 wide receivers. Maybe not definitely, but the potential is there. I'm gonna give this very slight edge to Team Blumpkin, even though that would say that Hill and Julio are gonna score a decent amount more than Hopkins and Thielen, and Galladay is going to score about the same as Ridley and Westbrook. Who the fuck knows? It's kind of a wash, but I'm going to give a very, very slight edge to Blumpkin just based on the fact that Julio is due, and he's going to, let's watch him get 2 touchdowns. Next up, tight end position. Herndon versus McDonald. McDonald's had a decent year. I'm going to give the edge to McDonald, and in this one, it's gonna be close, man. I think when I first was going through this, I thought Blumpkin kind of had the advantage at each position aside from quarterback, and I thought that was going to be more than enough. But as I go through this again, let's say White shits the bed, gets like 0 catches and fucking 32 yards or something. I don't know, man. I still think that Blumpkin's gonna pull it out. Yeah, we'll see. But yeah, I think Blumpkin's got it with a slight edge. The Bums may pull it out. I mean, if Mahomes goes crazy, but he's gonna be throwing to Hill. So, who the fuck knows? what's going to happen. Yeah, it's going to be interesting. I mean, it's going to be a fun matchup to keep an eye on. The other one I don't think is going to be as close. I think the Leg's got the other one, unless his luck is just run out and he goes back to getting absolutely screwed like he was all season as in the first half of the season. But that's my analysis. That's my breakdown. I hope you guys had a fun season. Let's keep it rolling. It's going to be fun to see how these playoffs shake out. I'll be in touch. I'll see you guys soon.
All right, thanks, Tom. Really appreciate you taking the time out to do the breakdown. Great job. Thanks a lot. So that's it, guys. Week 13 update over. Remember to set your lineups. Remember that it's almost always better to just walk away. And I will see you next week, where it's always sunny.